Hello, and welcome to the Office of International Admissions and Programs presentation on the STEM OPT extension, Reporting Requirements. This presentation is intended to inform you, our international F1 students, about the specific reporting requirements regarding the 24-month STEM OPT extension program. Please review our other presentations, an overview of the STEM extension program, and the Form I-983 and STEM OPT application instructions for additional information. If you have further questions after reviewing these slides, please contact us using the information shown on this slide. In this section, we will talk about the reporting requirements that you and your employer must adhere to. The Form I-983 must be submitted to OIAP at the time you apply for the STEM extension, and must also be updated with us any time there is a material change. A material change is any change to the Form I-983, including client site information, employer address, change in pay, supervisor changes, or changes to your training plan itself. A change to your training plan may occur if your job title has changed. Anytime there is an edit to your Form I-983, you must submit it to OIAP. At the end of the Form I-983 are pages for a yearly self-evaluation and a final self-evaluation. The first one is completed after 12 months from the beginning date of your STEM period. The bottom half of the evaluation forms in the I-983 are due at the end of your employment with a particular employer and/or at the end of your STEM period. These are not due at the time of application. As always, you must report changes in your employment within 10 days of a change. This can be when changing employers or a resignation or termination with no new employer. Validation reports are due every 6 months from the beginning of your STEM extension, regardless of any changes. Validation reports mean that you are submitting information about your employer and address even if nothing has changed. DHS requires that you submit validation reports every 6 months. You will submit your employment information in the ISD Portal through the OPT update. Don't forget, you must also update your CVIS address in e-services. Please ensure accuracy when reporting both employer and employee or client location addresses, because should a site visit occur, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, needs to have accurate information as to your current location. The Form I-983 is available on the Study in the State STEM OPT Hub. A link is provided at the end of this presentation. If changing employers during the time you have a STEM OPT extension application pending with USCIS, you should complete an OPT update in the ISD Portal. Submit a completed Form I-983 in the ISD Portal with the new employer information and upload a copy of your I-797 receipt notice. You should also request an I-20 reprint so that we can provide you with your updated I-20. OIAP will send your updated I-20 and employer information to USCIS via email. You do not need to contact USCIS or send anything to them via post. We will make your new I-20 available to you per your request in the I-20 reprint after updating USCIS. There is no evidence that this process delays your STEM OPT application in any way. A final evaluation from the employer you are leaving is only required if you are submitting this change of employment after your STEM OPT period has begun, i.e., after your post-completion EAD expires. In the ISD Portal, submit an optional practical training update and then click on the highlighted options shown on the screen. The following slides will refer to reporting changes after your STEM EAD has been approved by USCIS. To report a new employer while on STEM OPT, you will need to have your final evaluation from the employer that you are leaving completed and signed. It is a self-evaluation. This means that you are the one that writes down your own evaluation of what you have learned and accomplished. You will sign it, and so will the employer that you are leaving. Signatures must be pen, ink, or DocuSign approved. Typed font signatures are not accepted by UHCL. You will also submit pages 1 through 4 of the Form I-983 for the new employer that you are joining. We are looking for the same things that we looked for before when you applied for STEM OPT. If you have questions about filling out the I-983, please review the STEM Extension Application and Form I-983 video. Your DSO is also looking to see that the physical living address that you report as your SEVIS address in eServices and that you typed into the OPT update on the ISD portal is nearby the address listed in Section 5 of your I-983. If it is not, we will ask for clarification. Please double check all ISD portal entries for errors caused by autofill. If you do not have an employer yet, you will only be needing to submit the final evaluation of the employer that you are leaving in the OPT update. In the ISD portal, submit an optional practical training update. Follow the options highlighted on the slide. If you do not have a new employer yet, you will only be needing to submit the final evaluation of the employer that you are leaving. In the ISD portal, submit an optional practical training update to report when you have left an employer and have a new employer. Follow the options highlighted on the slide. Remember, all reporting must be submitted to OIAP within 10 days of the change. If your employer is remaining the same, but you are moving to a different client location or location of work, you are required to update your Form I-983 and submit it to UHCL. Your SEVIS record needs to reflect the location at which you are working. Work with your employer to have your Form I-983 updated. Section 5 is where the client location address should be listed. Also, have them review the Oversight and Supervision section, as that may have changed based on your situation. You also need to update your SEVIS address in eServices if you have moved. Your DSO will be reviewing your I-983 and your SEVIS address to ensure that they are nearby each other. Remember, your SEVIS address can be different from your mailing address. In the optional practical training update in the ISD portal, follow the prompts shown on the screen to report this type of change. Again, if your employer is remaining the same, but there is some sort of other material change that you need to report, you will need to submit an optional practical training update for a material change in employment. Changes to your I-983 may include personnel who have previously signed your I-983, changes in your salary, hours of work, the address of your employer, changes to your responsibilities that require an edit to your training plan. Those are some of the examples. Remember to report the change within 10 days. In the optional practical training update in the ISD portal, follow the prompts shown on the screen to report this type of change. You can also add a note to your advisor in the additional information box to describe the change to them. This is very helpful. Validation reports are due every 6 months from the beginning of your STEM extension, regardless of any changes. You will submit your employment information in the ISD portal through the OPT update. Don't forget, you must also update your SEVIS address in eServices. Please ensure accuracy when reporting both employer and employee or client location addresses, because should a site visit occur, Immigration and Customs Enforcement, or ICE, needs to have accurate information as to your current location. Make sure your I-983 reflects what you enter in the ISD portal. Please double check for errors caused by autofill before submitting. You can submit the reports in the ISD portal up to 30 days before your reporting deadline and up to 10 days after your reporting deadline. Your advisor will process them in the order received in the ISD portal. DSOs legally have 21 days to report the information in SEVIS, so it is imperative that you provide us with the information in a timely manner. The SEVP portal includes an overview of your STEM OPT reporting requirements. An example is shown here. Please be aware that the chart within the SEVP portal does not change. This means that if you've already met your reporting requirements for one of the due dates, immigration does not remove the deadline. It remains there. So if you were reviewing your deadlines, you may have already met them through previously submitted OPT updates in the ISD portal. In the ISD Portal Practical Training Update, submit the request using the highlighted options. Your ISD Portal must match your most recent Form I-983. The top half of page 5 of your Form I-983 is due after 1 year on STEM OPT. This is a self-evaluation. This means that you, the student, are the one that is evaluating your training, learning, and progress in the first year of STEM OPT. If you have remained within the same employer for the first year, your range of evaluation dates will be from the first date of STEM OPT through the 1 year mark. If you have changed employers within your first year on STEM OPT, then your range of evaluation dates will begin on the start date of that employer through the 1 year mark. In the ISD Portal Optional Practical Training Update, submit the request using the highlighted options. Your ISD Portal request must match your most recent Form I-983. The bottom half of page 5 of your I-983 could be due at several times during your STEM OPT, depending on your situation. This is also a self-evaluation. This means that you, the student, are the one that is evaluating your training, learning, and progress during the time at an employer and at the end of your STEM period. The employer is required to sign it. The final evaluation is due when you change employers while on STEM, which has already been discussed. It is also due at any time your STEM OPT is ending, which can be at the end of 24 months, when you decide to transfer out, or when your status in the United States has changed. If you decide to permanently leave the USA before your 24-month period is over, you should also submit a final evaluation to close out your STEM period in F1 status. In the ISD Portal Optional Practical Training Update, submit the request using the highlighted options. Your ISD Portal request must match your most recent Form I-983. If your status in the United States has changed, please submit the Immigration Status Change notification in the ISD Portal. You can submit the Immigration Status Change notification when your status within the USA has changed to something other than F1. The final evaluation is required when a change occurs because you have ended your STEM OPT period in F1 status in the United States. Follow the prompts above as an example for a student changing to another status. Here you will find an overview of the timeline of when you were required to report to UHCL during your STEM OPT extension. We will discuss this again on this slide to reiterate all of the important reporting requirements you have. At months 6, 12, and 18 during the STEM OPT extension, an OPT validation report is due. This means you must submit an OPT update in the ISD portal every 6 months from the start of your STEM extension, even if no change has occurred. The address where you live and go home after work, also known as your SEVIS address, should be updated in e-services within 10 days of any change. This can be different from your mailing address if you want postal mail to go somewhere else. Your SEVIS address must always be where you live. At 12 months or 1 year from the beginning of your STEM OPT extension, the first self-evaluation is due. You must complete the self-evaluation and it will be signed by yourself and your employer. Remember, UHCL does not accept typed font signatures. When your STEM OPT extension ends at 24 months, you will submit the final evaluation signed by yourself and your employer. During your STEM OPT extension, you might change employers. If you change your employer, you must submit an OPT update in the ISD Portal. In this update, you will include the final self-evaluation from the employer you are leaving and a new Form I-983 completed by your new employer. Another situation that can occur during the STEM OPT extension is any change to the information on your Form I-983. This is called a material change. For example, the site location changes, your supervisor changes, or any change is made to your training plan. You must report these changes in the ISD Portal OPT update as a material change and upload the updated Form I-983. Following are some important things to consider. If your SEVP Portal account shows that your post-completion OPT and your STEM OPT are both inactive, please submit an SEVP Portal help request in the ISD Portal and attach your STEM EAD card. Your advisor will work with SEVP to correct your SEVIS record. If you have not received your EAD card, there is no need to worry at this time. Once you receive your EAD card, you can submit the SEVP Portal help request. Changes made via OPT updates will be reflected in the SEVP Portal within 2 business days from the date that the request was marked completed in the ISD Portal. Students can now unlock their SEVP Portal themselves on the SEVP Portal website. If your plans include transferring to another university at the end of your STEM OPT, you should submit the F1 Transfer Out request in the ISD Portal. You will need to upload your completed and signed final evaluation on student progress, which is the bottom of page 5 of your I-983, your recent I-94, the acceptance or admission letter to the new school, and a transfer form, if the school you're transferring to has such a form. Once you submit the request in the ISD Portal, your advisor will set up the SEVIS transfer. You can choose a date in the future and we will enter it in SEVIS. On that date around midnight, your record will be transferred to the new school. Your transfer out date can be before your STEM EAD ends or within your 60-day grace period after your STEM EAD ends. If you are transferring out before your STEM OPT ends, your last date of employment will be the day before your SEVIS record is transferred. You should choose a transfer date that makes sense for when your new school is starting and if you have any travel plans, and discuss with the new school the time they need to process your I-20. This could help inform your decision about the choice for your transfer out date. The range of evaluation dates on your final evaluation should be the start date of that employer on STEM OPT to the day before your SEVIS transfer date. If you are transferring before a STEM OPT ends, the end date on the evaluation must be the day before your SEVIS transfer. At the end of STEM OPT, you have a 60-day grace period in which you can transfer out, leave the USA, or change your status. You cannot work during this grace period. We caution travel while your STEM OPT is pending, especially if it is after your post-completion OPT has expired. The decision to let you enter is Customs and Border Patrol's decision. If you have to travel after post-completion OPT is expired, but before you receive your STEM OPT EAD, you should at least bring your I-797 receipt notice for STEM OPT with you. The risks of traveling during this time is that USCIS may send a request for evidence, or RFE, and you will not be inside the USA to respond. USCIS may also deny your STEM application, in which case you would not be able to re-enter the United States. We highly caution against travel if your STEM OPT is pending and your post-completion OPT has expired. Avoid long periods of time outside the United States. Keep documentation from your employer regarding approved extended leave. To request a travel signature I-20, submit a request for a travel signature in the ISD Portal. Allow 7 to 10 business days for processing. We cannot expedite requests due to emergencies. Therefore, it is important that you maintain a valid travel signature for the duration of your STEM OPT period. Even if you have no plans to travel, we suggest you get it signed every 6 months. Following the list is a list of suggested resources for further information on the STEM program. Should you need further information or still have questions regarding your specific situation, please contact us using the information shown. Have a great day!